The Ghost Ship in the Sky, a tale of adventure and discovery. The village of Awaran was nestled amongst the rolling hills of Pakistan. It was a peaceful place where life moved at a gentle pace. But one day, a strange sight appeared in the sky above the village. It was a ship, a large wooden ship with tattered sails, floating effortlessly in the air. The villagers gathered in the village square, their faces a mixture of wonder and fear. No one had ever seen anything like it before. The ship seemed to be drifting slowly, and it was impossible to tell where it was going. It was a sight that filled them with both wonder and unease. A young boy named Ali, known for his adventurous spirit and curious mind, was particularly fascinated by the strange ship. He had always loved stories of pirates and seafaring adventures, and this mysterious vessel seemed to be straight out of one of his favorite tales. Ali decided to investigate the strange ship. He gathered his courage and set off on a journey to find out what it was and where it came from. He climbed the highest hill near the village, hoping to get a better view of the ship. As he reached the top, he saw that the ship was even more strange than he had imagined. It was enormous, with a towering mast and a deck that seemed to be made of ancient wood. The sails were tattered and torn, and the ship looked like it had been abandoned for centuries. But the most peculiar thing about the ship was that it seemed to be glowing faintly, as if it were made of moonlight. Ali watched the ship for a long time, trying to understand what he was seeing. He couldn't believe his eyes. Was it real, or was it just a figment of his imagination? As he stared at the ship, he noticed something else. A small wooden figure was standing on the deck. It was a man, dressed in a long, black coat with a beard as white as snow. He was looking directly at Ali, and his eyes seemed to glow with an eerie light. Ali felt a shiver run down his spine. He had never seen anything like this before. He knew that he had to find out more about the ship and the mysterious figure on its deck. He decided to follow the ship, hoping to get closer to it. He ran down the hill and through the fields, his heart pounding in his chest. He followed the ship for what seemed like hours, but it was still drifting slowly in the sky. Ali was starting to get tired, but he was determined to find out more about the ship. He knew that he had to be careful. The ship was a mystery, and the figure on its deck was even more so. But Ali was a brave boy, and he was not afraid of a little adventure. He knew that he had to find out what was going on. As the sun began to set, Ali noticed that the ship was starting to descend. It was heading towards a small, secluded forest on the edge of the village. Ali knew that he had to get closer to the ship, but he also knew that he had to be careful. He decided to hide in the forest and wait for the ship to land. He found a thick clump of bushes and waited patiently. He watched as the ship slowly descended, its sails flapping gently in the breeze. It landed softly in a clearing in the forest, its shadow falling across the trees like a giant, ghostly hand. Ali waited for a few minutes, making sure that the ship was truly still. Then, he cautiously emerged from his hiding place and approached the ship. He walked slowly, trying to be as quiet as possible. He reached the edge of the clearing and peered through the trees. The ship was even more impressive up close. It was truly a magnificent vessel, even if it was a little bit eerie. Ali saw the figure standing on the deck. He was still looking at Ali, his eyes glowing faintly in the twilight. Ali felt a surge of courage. He decided to approach the figure and ask him what he was doing. He walked towards the ship, his heart pounding in his chest. As he got closer, he noticed that the figure was holding a small, wooden box. The box was intricately carved, and it seemed to be glowing with the same faint light as the ship. Ali stopped a few feet away from the figure and called to him. "Hello," he said. The figure turned and looked at Ali. His eyes were a deep dark blue, and they seemed to pierce through Ali's soul. "Who are you?" he asked in a voice that was as old as the ship itself. "My name is Ali," said the boy. "What are you doing here?" The figure smiled, and his smile was as strange as the ship itself. "I am the captain of this ship," he said, "and I have been waiting for you." Ali was confused. "Waiting for me?" he asked. "Why?" The captain chuckled, and the sound was like the rustling of dry leaves. "You are the one who can help me," he said. "You are the one who can save me." Ali was even more confused. "Save you?" he asked. "From what?" The captain looked at Ali with a sad expression. "From myself," he said. "I am trapped in this ship. I cannot leave. I cannot die. I am a ghost." Ali gasped. He had never believed in ghosts before, but he knew that the captain was telling the truth. He could feel it in his bones. "How can I help you?" asked Ali. The captain pointed to the small wooden box he was holding. "This box contains my soul," he said. "It is the only thing that can free me from this ship, but I cannot open it myself. I need someone else to do it for me, someone who is brave enough to face the darkness within." Ali looked at the box. It was beautiful, but it also seemed to be radiating an eerie energy. He knew that he had to be careful. He could feel the darkness within the box, calling to him, tempting him. But he also knew that he had to help the captain. He had to free him from his ghostly prison. He took a deep breath and reached out for the box. "I'll do it," he said. The captain smiled, and for a moment, Ali thought he saw a flicker of hope in his eyes. Ali opened the box. A wave of cold air rushed out, and Ali felt a shiver run down his spine. Inside the box, he saw a swirling mass of darkness. It was a terrifying sight, and Ali felt a surge of fear. But he knew that he had to be brave. He had to free the captain. He reached into the box and took hold of the darkness. It was cold and slippery, and it felt like it was trying to pull him in. Ali held on tight, and he felt a strange energy flowing through him. He felt a sense of power, but also a sense of dread. He knew that he was in danger, but he was determined to help the captain. He closed his eyes and concentrated. He thought of the captain, and he thought of the freedom that he wanted for him. He felt the darkness within the box begin to shift and change. It was becoming lighter, brighter. Ali felt a sense of relief. He knew that he was doing the right thing. Suddenly, the darkness exploded, and a bright light filled the clearing. Ali shielded his eyes, and he felt a surge of energy. He opened his eyes, and he saw that the captain was gone. The ship was gone. All that was left was a faint glow in the air and a small wooden box lying on the ground. Ali picked up the box and looked at it. It was no longer glowing. It was just an ordinary box. Ali felt a pang of sadness. He had freed the captain, but he had also lost him. He didn't know what had happened to him or where he had gone. He only knew that he was free. He was free from the ship, and he was free from the darkness. Ali put the box in his pocket and walked out of the forest. He returned to the village, his heart filled with a mixture of relief and sadness. He had faced his fears, and he had helped the captain. But he knew that he would never forget the ghost ship in the sky, or the strange figure who had been its captain. Ali told the villagers about his adventure, but they didn't believe him. They thought he was just making up stories. But Ali knew the truth. He knew that the ghost ship was real, and he knew that the captain was free. He kept the box in his pocket, and he never forgot his adventure. He knew that there were still mysteries in the world, and he was always ready to explore them. He knew that the ghost ship in the sky might reappear one day, and he was ready to face whatever challenges it might bring. He was a brave boy, and he was always ready for an adventure.